Shalom, and welcome to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. This is a recording of a Shabbat sermon with scholar-in-residence Yiscah Smith.
I am so blessed and honored to be part of the Simcha. So from my home in Yerushalayim to your home with your family here in LA, from my heart to your heart, from my soul to your soul, Mazal Tov. Mazal Tov. And may we know many, many more smachot. May you always be a source of nachat, of joy and pride to your parents, your family, your community, to Am Yisrael, and to all of humanity.
Amen.
And picking up on your blessing to your daughter about may you always continue Talmud Torah, I ask you the question to ponder. How important is it that we learn Torah? So while you're pondering, for those who want an immediate answer, if you turn in your Siddur to page 107, you're pondering, that's your job, right? I want to say it right. Batya Shoshana, while you're thinking and contemplating, consider what I'm going to share from the Talmud. So our Talmud, and we repeat this every morning when we say the bracha over learning Torah. At the bottom, I'll read in English. These are the deeds that yield immediate fruit and continue to yield fruit in time to come. And now the Talmud lists in Kiddushin all these beautiful, beautiful midot and behaviors, honoring parents, performing deeds of kindness and love, attending the house of study morning and evening, providing hospitality, visiting the sick, helping the needy bride, attending the dead, probing the meaning of prayer, making peace between one person and another, and between husband and wife, and I'd like to add, between husband and wife, and then we could say, Ad Kan, period. And we would be wonderful people if we could exemplify this. Then the Talmud adds, V'Talmud Torah keneged kulam. I'd like to push back on the translation a little. I don't really see it as the study of Torah is the most basic of them all. Rather, the study of Torah corresponds equally to all the other mitzvot. So, to answer my question that I'm posing to you, how important is Talmud Torah? Very, very. That's how important it is. It's perhaps the highest ideal that we try to cultivate. However, Rabbi Heschel, may his memory only be for a blessing, was concerned that if we emphasize the learning of the Torah so much, we may become ardent scholars and students and disciples of the Torah. However, he sees that the trap we could fall into, which I have seen over the past 50 years as I've been learning Torah, it can stay here. It doesn't move below. So all these pieces that the Talmud just described as being such wonderful ways of behavior are below here. But how do we know how to do that? We learn the Torah. But somehow the Torah needs to move beyond the intellect. And this is what Heschel writes, one of my favorite quotes. I'm so blessed to share this with all of you and the Bat Mitzvah. The higher goal of spiritual living, I ask you to key into that, to focus your intention to what Heschel believes is important, which is spiritual living, is not to amass a wealth of information. Well, wait a minute. We're just told that that's the greatest mitzvah. Isn't it to amass a lot of information? No. Rather, to face sacred moments. This is why we learn the Torah, to help us face sacred moments. I would like to add that I see that as cultivating the holistic approach to Talmud Torah. Yes, it begins in the mind, but it also employs not only the mind, but the body, the heart, and the soul to make it a holistic spiritual practice. I would like to add to your wonderful teaching, and this is what we do in the Jewish tradition. We add, and we're always adding, a few snippets from one of my main teachers, source of tremendous inspiration. Some of my students here probably know who I'm going to quote right now. By the way, this is amazing. There are a few familiar faces and a lot of new faces. So the Piaseczner Rebbe, it's a town in Poland, Piaseczna, he's called the Piaseczner. Rabbi Kalonymus Kalma Shapira wrote 7 books. His 7th he wrote during the Holocaust in the Warsaw Ghetto, known as Eish Kodesh. Maybe some of you have heard of it. He taught about holistic practices. He saw Judaism as a spiritual practice. He perished in the Holocaust, so while his body is not with us right now, his Torah, all his Torot, his thoughts, his teachings are very much alive for many of us. That was not, thank God, murdered. This is what he shares. I'm going to share just a few snippets. I know we've been here several hours. I won't go on and on and on, but I just have to share. You know, there's a phrase in the Talmud, more than the calf wants to suckle, the mother wants to nurse, the mother cow. So please bear with me. I came all the way from Yerushalayim to share this with you. Right? The first thing he mentions, when you learn Bible, when you're learning Torah, try to participate in all of the holy events that occurred as though you were there. And you did that so well when you described the relationship with your sister, like it was like this rivalry, but not, because you do support each other, but you're different. So imagine if when we learned the Torah, instead of the Torah being there and us here, we're in it. As Pardes says, it's one of the taglines for Pardes, see yourself in the text. I like to add, see the text in you. So here he gives examples. Participate in the journey of Avraham and Yitzchak to the sacrificial altar at the Akedah. I mean, imagine if you were Avraham or you were Yitzchak, Isaac. And then in the sorrow of Yaakov, when he prayed to the Eternal right before he's about to meet his brother after this parsha, after many, many years, save me, please, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him. Imagine what he must have been feeling like. So that's already bringing the intellect into the emotional arena. He goes on and continues, we learn in the Midrash that the Eternal's voice at the giving of the Torah went from one end of the world to another. The Midrash, by the way, don't ever ask a teacher of Midrash, is it really true? All right? Because you'll get one answer, but in 2 ways. Of course not. Of course. So this is one example where the writer, the rabbi who wrote this piece of Midrash, he believes it was not just top down and stayed. It was top down and then went out into the entire world. We also learn, the Piaseczna brings down, from another Midrash in Devarim Rabbah, we also learn that the Jewish people heard the blessed voice coming from all directions, from north, south, west, east, from above and from below. So not only did we not only hear it from above to below, but from all the directions. So what I see here is the Piaseczna quoting these 2 Midrashim, sees Talmud Torah, as much as I love teaching at Pardes in the Beit Midrash, but it's far beyond the Beit Midrash, far beyond the Beit HaKnesset, the synagogue. Wherever we go, we may actually be learning Torah. So this hints to us that we should not think that the physical world is distant and opposes the Torah, for this is not so. And he then says, a person who is more spiritually sensitive, who has cultivated this practice of holistic Talmud Torah, and is united with this voice of Torah, can actually hear the voice of the Torah from everywhere in the world. Everywhere. And these are the examples he gives. Think of this, an ultra-Orthodox Hasidic Rebbe in the interwar period. What is he telling his Hasidim? From the twittering of the birds from the mooing of the cows, and even from the voices and the noisy tumult of people's voices. This, from all of these, a person can hear the voice of the eternal in the Torah. But to do that, we must give to the Torah. And he asks, what do we give to the Torah as we're trying to receive from the Torah an insight, an idea, a sacred moment? We give ourselves. It should not be that we stand outside of it and look upon the Torah, but rather we give our entire selves, meaning not only our intellect, but our hearts and our bodies. And he believes that someone who only learns the Torah intellectually, he calls poor in awareness. The person's awareness of the potential of what there is in the Torah, how to experience it as a sacred moment, becomes compromised. And he said this person, if it's only in the intellect, through the intellect, and stays from the neck up, this person does not feel any excitement or fervor of holiness in Torah. And that's what I would bless. I would bless you, that not only may, as your parents said, continue to learn Torah, but be excited by it. Let it open up your heart. After all, the delight that derives from this excitement and enthusiasm is the delight of the Garden of Eden. Because Gan Eden in Hebrew is the garden of pleasure. And what greater pleasure can there be when I can hear a cow mooing or the birds chirping and I'm hearing God? Imagine that. That's the holistic experience of Talmud Torah. I want to conclude when he mentions one more final idea here. He has a lot of final ideas, but one that I want to share with you is, how do we really, though, give ourselves to the Torah, not only in mind, body, heart, and soul, by learning the mysteries of the Torah? And many people jump and believe, it must be the Kabbalah or the Zohar. He differs. It can include that, but this is how he answers. What is it to learn the mysteries of the Torah? And this is my blessing to you right now, from the PSS and the Rebbe, through me to you. The study of the mysteries of the Torah is revealing in one's study, one's learning, one's soul that is currently hidden. That's why we learn Torah, to uncover, to explore, and to encounter a deeper part of ourselves. The soul is not seen outwardly, nor are her activities observable. It's a consciousness, it's an awareness. But when one learns with one's soul and reveals the soul through the learning, then we are learning the mysteries of the Torah. So I'd like to bless everyone, starting with you. Hold on. Batya Shoshana, such a beautiful name. My sister's name is Batya. Right? And the family, the community. Let us cultivate the holistic practice of Talmud Torah as we uncover mysteries about ourselves. And in that way, true to Heschel's words, it's much more than amassing information. It's encountering a sacred moment.
You've been listening to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. If you enjoy these podcasts, we invite you to write a review on the Apple Podcast website or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information on Temple Beth Am, Los Angeles, please visit www.tbala.org.